Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay in your ground. You bustin' your rounds, nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you. Looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason? It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back, triple.
I told you I was gonna come out with another episode real soon. I can't let you guys down. I understand NFL is here. It's here. It's not in season, but I'm saying it's here because we just had the draft, and I know I didn't get a chance to give you like a whole thing about the drafts and everything. But one thing I will say is a huge shout out to the Commanders. I appreciate you guys inviting me to your draft party. It's been a pleasure. I met a lot of amazing people there. I hope to continue our relationship. But y'all already know I'm a Giants fan. Y'all already know. I just have to, I have to preface that. I have to let you know that even though I do appreciate the Commanders and everything that they've done a lot for me personally, but at the same time, I am New York till I die. It doesn't matter where I live. It doesn't mean where I'm at right now. It doesn't matter. So, Giants. This is specifically for you. Nobody else. Okay. So, we overpaid Daniel Jones, right? I'm going to try to calm down. We overpaid Daniel Jones. We already know. It is what it is. We had the thing with Barkley, right? I'm taking it way back, guys. Not that far back, but taking it back. We get into it with Barkley about his contract and what we think he's worth because of the market. And while I can appreciate the market, you have to appreciate the value of a guy to your team. Who cares what everything is going on? Like, I get it. It's always going to be a business. It's a money thing. But there's a such thing as bad business, though. And there are certain outliers, right? And there are certain situations. It may not be the rule, but there's always an exception to the rule. Barkley was your exception. You should have paid him, Giants. You know it. I know it. That's why a lot of people, and by people I mean Giants fans, were not upset when he went to the Eagles. Maybe guys like Tiki Barber, and that's like a whole nother conversation right there, but we don't have time to get into that. And then, so yeah, we let him go. So we still have a quarterback situation and a very quarterback heavy draft that some people may argue, maybe back and forth. We only know, time will tell, the right situation, but we can all agree that Dable has performed miracles on quarterbacks. And that's not taking away from anything. I'm talking about Josh Allen in particular. That's not taking away any of his talent and what he was able to do. But let's be for real. Before he got with Dable, yeah, that's a rooster. There was a lot of people that were calling him a bust. There was a lot of people that didn't know where to place him. But when Coach Dable got involved, you see where Josh Allen is now, right? Top 5 quarterback. Some people really put him up there. Definitely super talented. A lot of expectations. That's a whole nother story what's going on with the Bills. We're not talking about them right now. I know some of y'all want to talk about it, but we're not talking about that right now. The point is, could we have gotten a quarterback? Would have been smarter to get a quarterback? I'm going to say I thought about it, but at the same time, I am a firm believer, though, when it comes to these drafts, that if you don't feel like you have your guy, then you don't have your guy. Like, you know what I mean? And you just got to move off of it. And you got to start rebuilding the team, offensive line, defense, right? That's kind of where you want to kind of go. Build around. Learn. Look at other teams, even if you're not sure. Detroit Lions. There was a lot of teams that were bad for a while until they weren't, right? They didn't come out of nowhere. They were just drafting smart. They weren't going for, I like to call it the sexy pick. We're always going with the sexy pick. Even when we picked Barkley second overall, which I loved, of course, but at the same time, you have to think about what we're doing here, right? What are we trying to build? What's the ultimate goal? Are we just trying to win a few games and have like some explosive plays here and there that we can kind of clap and cheer about? By the end of the day, when it comes to the playoffs and real contention, we're never in that conversation. Is that what we're doing here? Because right now, like, Neighbors, like, I mean, I love the kid. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say that we don't need a wide receiver, but we also need somebody that's going to be able to get him the ball on a reliable basis. I mean, even if Daniel Jones is half of what he was, right? Like, I mean, I shouldn't even say that because the point is the man's coming off injury. Whatever you thought about him before, he's coming off a serious injury. That's going to take some time for him to ramp back up, get into game speed. And it is a rookie wide receiver. So we're going to put all that pressure on him to do what? We got rid of Saquon, right? A lot of people are going to be like, no, we didn't get rid of him. He chose to. We gave him no choice. For the people that want to sit there and still keep doing that, don't do that. Don't do that. Saquon did not want to leave. Absolutely did not. But you have to go where you're wanted. We obviously made it very clear that we didn't want him. We didn't value him. Even what he's done over the last couple years, and some people want to say with the injury years and all that, we did not value him. We proved that in the way we treated him in free market. Like, players understand when they're appreciated when you pay them because you're giving them a sense of security, something for them not to worry about other than the game. When you give them other things to worry about other than the game, they don't feel like you value them. And their mind and their priorities are going to be elsewhere. And that's like the last thing we need right now. So, did I think we made some good picks along down the line? Sure. You know what I mean? But overall, what are my expectations for the season? I don't know. I know the Commanders got better. They got themselves a quarterback. What they're going to do with it, yeah, that's still main. We still have to sit back and see. You know, Jaden Daniels, I believe that's what they got. You know, great kid. I'm sure he's going to do great things. You know, we already know what's going on with the Eagles. You already know Saquon's going to want to get his get back. So at least, what, two times out of the year? I don't even see a schedule, so I don't know how many more times we're playing him. But the point is, we do not want to see them. Are you kidding me? Because now, a guy like Saquon, not only do they have an offensive line over there in the Eagles, I know they lost Kelsey, I know. And I'm glad he's retiring and he's doing different things. And by the way, we're going to see Jason Kelsey on, I believe it's Monday Night Countdown. You know, Monday Night Football. That's awesome. New Heights podcast with him and Travis. Yo, A1. I love that podcast. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's awesome. Awesome. And I've been watching them before everybody else kind of bandwagon with the Taylor Swift thing. But anywho, check it out. New Heights podcast. Awesome. On YouTube. But the point is, so now it's like Saquon is going to be free to do what he wants. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to have that stress of not having that quarterback that he can rely on. He's in a great situation. So pretty much we don't want to see the Eagles. That's not going to be a good situation. You already know the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys got their own problems with Dak, and they're not sure what they're going to do with, you know, signing him. And they're ultimately probably going to sign him. They're going to have to pay him that money that they're probably not trying to pay him. But that's also going to be ridiculous. But one thing I will say is, you know what, Dak? If you don't want to go over there, let's mix it all up. Since Saquon went over to the Eagles, why don't we just mix it up? Why don't you come over to the Giants, where we can embrace you and show you love? I know some people are saying he's too expensive, this and that. No, you know what's going to be too expensive? Losing all season long. That's going to be too expensive. It's too expensive for me. You know what I mean? Emotionally, it's too expensive. That would be great if Dak were to come over here, right? That would be crazy. But I'm sure Jerry and them will never let that happen, right? But I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there since we seem to be moving guys around within divisions and nobody cares about that anymore, right? So, like, keep that same energy and bring it over here. But when it comes to the draft and trying to think about pieces and what we really needed, it's very hard to say because I don't know who else we're going after. I don't really know the game plan because maybe there is a veteran quarterback that we have in mind. You know what I mean? In case Daniel gets hurt again or is Danny again. You know what I mean? Like, there's a number of different ways we can go with it. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to sit back and wait and see. But I can't say that we had an awesome draft because we definitely did it. I wouldn't say we had the worst draft because anytime you can secure, especially what I envision for neighbors, like I envision big things for him, but there can't be any big things until we can get somebody that can get him the ball. So that's going to be a whole nother story. But our division, the NFC East, is going to be fun to watch. I don't think it's going to be as predictable as everybody thinks this is going to be, because it usually is. So it's going to be fun to watch things and to see how things play out. And especially since the Cowboys are kind of having their thing, what's going on, and they had a lot of family members getting out the starting quarterback. So to just watching that whole dynamic at play, because I think people think that that doesn't interfere with the game, and of course it does, because it also goes back to you being valued. And I feel like if you value your quarterback, you're not going to let family members of other teammates get involved, to the point where it's so public, especially during somebody who's trying to get their contract. And then you have kind of the owner and Jerry Jones kind of giving you mixed signals, because that's what he does. And like I said, I'm here for it because it kind of opens up the window a little bit for us Giants fans, that little window of hope to kind of say, you know what, maybe we're not that bad. We're not good. I'm not trying to be delusional, but at the same time, I'm kind of like a wait and see type of person. So I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna be optimistic about it. We gotta hope for the best, and if not, what I always say, losses equals life lessons. We just gotta learn from it.
Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay in your ground. You bustin' your rounds, nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you. Looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason? It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do, come back triple.